to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Remain standing for the prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you that you have allowed us to come to this place at this time. Father, we pray that we will come together in like minds, that the business that we conduct will be the best for all the citizens of our community and our town. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. Item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Am I loud enough? Okay. The approval of the agenda. I don't know if y'all, okay. Does anybody have any corrections or additions or?
The agenda as stated.
Second.
Councilman Brown made the motion. Councilman Dobbin seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? You have the regular town council meeting of June the 19th, 2023. Any additions or corrections to?
Make a motion that we approve the minutes as written.
Second.
Mayor Pro Tem Triffitt made the motion to approve the minutes. Councilman Brown seconded. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. All opposed? We have on the agenda the calling of a public hearing.
Mayor Byrd and council members. We would like to forego the hearing tonight. As planning director and with council's approval, we have stopped that rezone currently due to a mix up in the numbers. Everything did not match up like it should with the paperwork with them for the rezone. They have to start all over again. So it may come back before you in a couple of months, but for tonight, that rezone has been killed.
I think the attorney said that we need to vote to, how do you want that?
Right, since town council called for the public hearing, I believe it's appropriate for town council to vote to cancel the hearing. The reason it's being canceled is, as Ms. Oldham indicated, there was an irregular where the parcel that was the legal description of the property that was on the application is no longer the same as the current legal description of that parcel. The rezone is not this that would currently be council is not for the same property as was considered by the planning board. Due to that irregularity, town staff has indicated to the applicant that they need to reapply. And so at this time, it's not appropriate or to have a public hearing on that issue. So I
Councilor,
recommend that you vote
go ahead,
to
recommend what?
cancel it.
What about rescheduling? Should we call for one for the next meeting or too
Well,
soon?
No, because
think
it's
it's-
got to be resubmitted.
Right, it would be a new
Okay, cool.
public hearing, so I don't believe it'd be appropriate to
Right.
just to
Fine.
reschedule.
But we need a motion to cancel this.
Correct.
Make a motion that we cancel the rezoning hearing for Johnston's Farm because it's no longer relevant.
Second.
Mayor Pro Tem made the motion to cancel the public hearing. Councilman McGowan seconded. Any further discussion?
Somebody.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. The public hearing is canceled.
Okay, somebody's gonna have to cut me up. Okay, I'll try to get as close as I can. It seems like my microphone is not picking up tonight. So the public hearing has been canceled. It'll have to be rescheduled when the property owners resubmits. At this time, we're going to open the open forum for anybody that has anything they want to discuss with us. Please come forward. State your name, your address, and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Right there. Yes, ma'am.
You need to turn it on. You need to turn it on.
Our names are Nelson and Kay Corbett. We live at 690 Uzzles Pond Road in Wilson's Mills, obviously. We unfortunately, we have come before the council before to talk about an issue that we have with our septic system. And nothing has been done about it. We have talked with Johnston County officials. They cannot help us. They come as far as Johnston Farms and into Johnston Farms. But there are 5 families on our road, 5 houses that have no access to sewer. And our situation is that our actual septic leach field has failed. So we are taxpayers. We need help. We need the town to help us get the sewer access that we need, as well as the other 5 families. The person next door to us, who is actually Nelson's cousin, they are operating right now on a repair septic system. So that's not going to last for long either.
Can I ask you your address?
Yes, 690 Uzzles Pond Road.
Where is that specifically? I don't know 690 right off the bat.
Okay.
It is,
Main Street,
Mhm.
when you get to the first stop sign, becomes Uzzles Pond Road, all the way down to the end.
Oh, but your home, where is that? Are we talking the entire
It's,
street?
no, we are 2/10 of a mile from where access is at Jones Road. We are 2/10 of a mile from that, down the road.
We're the second house on Uzzles
Right.
Pond.
Right.
Is that in
Okay.
reference to that horse farm that's off to the other
The
side?
horse farm is in back of us.
Right. Are you before the horse farm or after?
We are actually right in front
Front of the
of
horse
horse farm.
Okay, now I know where you are. Okay, that's what
Yeah,
I
the
needed.
little brick house. And I know that Johnston County, for some reason, has us listed as 690 Main Street, but that's not correct.
because Main Street used to go down straight.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So we are asking the council once again to help us somehow get this service that we desperately need.
When you came before and asked us for help prior to this, I recall, but what was our response or what was the general
Well,
response?
the general response at that time was that everyone in Wilson's Mills would eventually get sewer access. But we are at a point now where it, like I said, it's really kind of a dire thing for us. The leach field is gone. So, and we have no other way.
You have no other available property for,
We do not.
The only thing that I know that council can do or the town can do is to petition Johnson County and see what we can work out there. What do you think, Leanna? Because sewer is not run in front of your house.
Right.
So,
where does it stop?
John's
It
Road.
stops at
Okay.
Johnston Farms.
Okay.
This particular area, I don't know if you can hear me or not. I can't hear me.
No.
yeah, you're
Okay.
gonna have to get right on it. I don't know what's,
This particular area was not on the last sewer project because of where it was located
Yeah.
and the fact that it would require a pump station. That was another one of those areas that was not on the project. With the sewer feasibility study that you're looking at doing right now and the agreement with Johnston County, I don't think petitioning Johnston County would be an
Yeah.
option, but I think that once we have the sewer feasibility done and we know the areas that still need to be sewered, then we can do it. I would be happy to talk with you in my office about the timeline for that and the options. If you'd
but-
like to call me and come and meet with me, we can do that because they are starting a sewer feasibility right now. So
And
Um,
what is your name?
I can give you my card. before we-
Okay, okay. Yeah, we appreciate
Worthy.
any help that,
Yeah.
that the town can give us.
And-
So,
I think some of it is, as well is there, there's just no sewer available right now. I mean, we could petition them, but until they get that new plant done, over on 210, I don't know that there's any available for one or two houses. I mean,
This particular area wouldn't be feasible as a project on its own just because of the cost justifying the number of families that it services. But included with a larger project, it could be possible. That's the reason, one of the many reasons for the sewer feasibility study that we're looking to do right now. Because we do have other areas in town that are not sewered yet. And they're having the same problems that you're having.
Right.
But because of the extra costs, because a pump station would be required, it can't be gravity fed. It would have to have a pump station. That's what made the cost go up. That's why it wasn't included and the other areas were not included in the last project that we did. But I do remember you coming before us. I think it
Yeah.
was right
right.
before COVID when that started.
we
So
did.
and I don't know that it makes you feel any better, but some in my neighborhood are in the same circumstance. I live off of Swift Creek Road, and some of theirs are failing. And we do understand. We
The
do.
county has been understanding also.
Yeah, I mean,
Right,
we
They have.
we do, but and Leanne would be the perfect person to meet with and kind of get it on, get her make notes and stuff like that. But I understand because my neighborhood is not, of course I'm in town, but does not have sewer and some of those septic systems are failing.
And this is the reason we're trying to do the study. We're trying to get everything so that we can sewer the whole town, but it's going to take time. And I know that's not a good thing for you to hear.
No.
So, but
Yeah.
thank you for coming and we
Okay,
will
thank you.
come and meet with Leanna and let her talk with you and see
Yeah.
what she can work out for you.
Okay,
Thank
and
you.
we've got the names of the other homeowners
Yes,
too. so
That would,
give
that
those
would
to
be good
her.
information to give her.
Speaking of the
Okay.
other homeowners, just out of curiosity, are you the only ones that do not have sufficient property to run another drain field?
I know that his cousin does not.
Okay,
They did a septic repair from the from the backyard to the front yard. But they are in the same situation. They don't have any other land
right.
For
to-
repair.
for another
Right.
repair.
And the other folks are pretty much the same way or?
I'm
Do you-
not sure about the other folks. I have to talk
Okay,
with them.
if you don't know, that's okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you once again.
Thank-
Okay, thank you.
You're
You're
welcome. Anyone else wishing to speak for the open forum? I'm going to close the open forum at 6:45. And we'll go into our regular business. Leanne? It's town council. Leanne?
Should we,
Do
should
we-
we say something to if the folks are here for that public hearing that has been canceled, just remind them because,
We did.
okay, we're good then. Everybody knows.
Do we have the frame
Not until they're signed.
and they're not signed?
We're missing a council member.
Okay. We have a proclamation tonight. And I've got two of them. I hope I can get through. Place to live and work. Whereas Philip Wright will be missed by all those whose lives he touched during his life, especially the members of this town council. And whereas the citizens of Wilson Mills will reap the benefits of his capable leadership and selfless contributions to the town for many years to come. And now therefore be it proclaimed that the Wilson Mills Town Council respectfully honors the life and memory of our fellow council member, Philip R. Wright, by renaming the Wilson Mills Community Park, the Philip R. Wright Community Park, duly proclaimed this 17th day of July, 2023. Yes. And for those of you who do not know, Miss Fay wanted to be here so badly. And she fell about 2 weeks ago and dislocated her shoulder. She is having a lot of health problems and just could not get up to get here. I tried to get her up today so she could come, but it didn't work. But y'all remember her? She is in a lot of pain and having to go through a lot, but when we get the proclamation signed by every council member, then we will present it to her and to the family. But we do remember Philip.
Is this a good time? I'd like to say one thing about how I remember Philip. I've been on this council now for 6 years. I have 2 more years to go. When I moved here 8 years ago, I had no intention whatsoever of doing anything but plain retiring. And circumstances came about that indicated I should run for office. Never having run for any office before, Philip supported me, and Philip said, "Stick with me, boy." I said, "Yes, sir." And Philip taught me how to run for office and be successful. And it's been twice over now, but Philip was the one who taught me how to go and go down voter rolls and figure out where we need to go. And Philip, I forget how old he would have been 6 years ago. What was he when he passed away? 82, 80?
84.
84. 80. So Philip was 78 when he and I went out on 4 or 5 Saturdays prior to the election, hot Saturdays in a row, and knocked on every possible door in Wilson's Mills that we could. And it worked. It paid off, but that was Philip. Philip knew what he wanted to do, and Philip knew how to go about doing it, and he dragged me along with him, and I'm ever so grateful for Philip Wright.
Anyone else have anything? Okay. Our next proclamation. Naming the Karen M. Trippett Dog Park. Whereas the town council of the town of Wilson Mills and its citizens lost a dedicated public servant with the passing of Karen M. Trippett on March the 18th, 2023. And whereas Karen M. Trippett contributed to the community of Wilson Mills as a member of the event committee, a key volunteer for the Pumpkin Festival for over 10 years, and a member of Silver Stars. And whereas Karen had a heart for all animals and people, and was always willing to help assist with the home placement of animals found in town, and she sought continuously to make Wilson Mills a better place to live and work. And whereas Karen Trippett will be missed by all those whose lives she touched during her life, especially the members of this town council. And whereas the citizens of Wilson Mills will reap the benefits of her capable leadership and selfless contributions to the town for many years to come. And now therefore be it proclaimed that the Wilson Mills Town Council respectfully honors the life and memory of Karen M. Trippett by naming the Wilson Mills Dog Park the Karen M. Trippett Dog Park, duly proclaimed the 17th day of July, 2023.
This is gonna be hard for me. I want to thank all of you people. Karen, she loved this town. She loved the people. And I thank all of
Yes, she did.
She is missed.
Yes. I can see her right now at the Pumpkin Festival.
I can see her right now sitting out there. She never
Yeah,
missed a meeting.
she
and
never-
It wasn't just to keep tabs on him either. It was because she was very interested in everything that happened in this town. So Karen, you are missed.
Yes, yes. Now I got to get through the rest. Okay. Oh, give me just a minute. Yeah.
Leanna, or let me ask you real quick. Well, we're getting composed here. Signs are going to be up at the dog park and at the park soon, or what's the?
You've got them all.
So we have already been looking into the sign for the community park, which will now be the Philip Wright Community Park. And when the dog park is finished, that's the sign that will be placed there, is the Karen Trippett Dog Park.
That will be nice. I'm looking forward to that.
Yes. Okay. I have a request for council. We get our packets, most of the time on Wednesday before our council meeting. Our staff spends a great deal of time putting these packets together. I would like to request that if you have a question about an item that's on the agenda, to call ever who it pertains to. If it's in administration, call Leanna. If it's planning, call Wendy. If it's finance, call Sherry. Get the answer to that question. Give them time to look it up. It is very beneficial to our staff if they have the time to get the information you're requesting. Then they can bring it to you, and then they can bring it to the rest of council, and we can answer all the questions. But if they have to look it up after the fact, you asked it here at this meeting, they don't have anything in front of them. So if you have a question about anything that's on this agenda, if you want to call me, call me. I may tell you I don't have any idea, but ask somebody to look it up for you. And then tell them to present it at the council meeting. That way we will all be informed about every question that needs to be asked. Because if you wait till you get to the meeting, our staff can't look it up for you.
I agree with you entirely, Mayor. In fact, I've said it many times before to staff when I have questions like that. And it's a question of, I don't like surprises, and nobody likes surprises, and no one likes to be stunned, if you will, with an off the wall question as they're standing at the podium. So we need to do that sort of thing. I have one for the chief tonight, but I've already asked him that question 3 days ago.
See, and this is the point that we need to make sure our staff has time to answer the questions we ask them. And then we can all be informed.
My question regarding signs just now, that was a delaying tactic.
Okay, if you say so. Thank you very much, by the way. Okay, Leanna.
Okay. The next item on your agenda is the,
Leanna, you're gonna have to put your mouth on the microphone. Cause I just can't hear you.
that's kind of gross. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Okay. The awarding the bids for the comprehensive utilities plan. I apologize that this needed to be tabled from last month. I've called the vendors that submitted bids as well, and I appreciate your understanding for me not being here last month. But I did give you all before the meeting another copy of the scoring sheet for the ones that were submitted for the comprehensive utilities plan. And as was stated last month, and as you can see from this, it was a very, very close scoring between the Wooten Company, who has done projects for us in the past, and TRC Engineering. I'm not going to recap all of this. You've already had the summary for 2 months, or since last month rather, talking about the different reasons for the scoring, the different areas, the profile, their experience, their project approach, their team's experience, and their familiarity with this local area. After reviewing all of this, and also after doing individual interviews with the top 2, it is still staff's recommendation that you go with TRC Engineering. And as I spoke with the Wooten Company today, yes, they have done projects for us in the past, but I feel like there are some areas that TRC could help us with this particular plan that we're looking to do, the utilities comprehensive plan. And us having to possibly create a utilities department, TRC has shown that they already have experience with that type of work on the smaller scale that we need here in Wilson's Mills. I think the personal help that we would receive from TRC is better fitted to what we need for this. Now, we do have some plans in the works this coming year that are in your strategic plan that I feel like the Wooten Company may be better fitted for those. And I discussed that with them today. So we hope that they will continue to submit bids for us on some of those other plans. But for this particular one, our recommendation still stands with TRC Engineering. I'll be happy to answer any questions. We've got a couple people here from TRC, and I don't believe we have anybody here from the Wooten. They had talked about sending somebody, but I did speak with Brian today.
Does anyone have any question or any?
I've gone over this again since we met last month and discussed it and had their presentations. And I just want to say, whether there's somebody here from Wooten or not, I certainly do appreciate all that they've done for us in the past, and hopefully that they'll continue to do for us in the future. But for the reasons I stated last time, and I'd have to go over the minutes to see what I stated specifically, but I still would concur with Leanna, and TRC Engineering would have my vote.
Leanna, you said that TRC Lee had not done anything for Wilson's Mills before, right? Just Wooten,
Not for Wilson's Mills, correct?
right?
But they do have experience with these types of projects for other municipalities as well.
In Johnston County.
Yes.
Yeah.
And very familiar with the area and the people of Johnston County. It's going to have to be a collaborative effort to get this plan completed between us and Johnston County, because they still maintain our lines, they bill for our lines, and we've got the agreement with them that needs to be updated at some point. So I just feel like they are very familiar on our level with all of the stuff that we have going on and could provide. that are serviced to us for that.
Did you say we have a representative from TRC here?
Yes, there are two.
Would he like to speak or anything?
Marla, Ty, would either one of you like to speak?
It might be beneficial because Carolyn was not here last time, so at least.
She
Okay.
was- We were all out sick.
My name is Tyrus Clayton. I am the principal of our Cary office for TRC Engineers. Just to sort of reiterate some of the things I brought up last time.
Did you cut on your mic?
I did.
Yeah,
Okay.
bring it up there.
Let me
you
get
go.
real close. Again, my name is Tyrus Clayton. I am the principal in our Cary office for TRC Engineers. Just to reiterate a few things I said last time, our firm and specifically our staff out of that office have been long-term engineers in Johnson County and the surrounding areas. We feel that we understand small municipal utilities. That's really what we've concentrated on as a staff, and me personally, as over my career, is helping the small rural communities with growing pains associated with, some of the subjects you have in front of you. We also have made effort to hire people we think can associate with these kind of towns and counties. We have several wastewater and water treatment operators on staff, as well as Ms. Marla Ashworth is with us here. She was the town administrator over in the town of Princeton for many, many years. She has gone through this process with that town. So she understands the creation and the what it takes to, create a utility and operate that from a very basic level through many years of service and learning that some of the, hopefully we can help you go through this process and use those growing pains we learn at other locations so you don't have to go through them. So I'm a native here of Harnett County next door. I've worked here and lived here all my life, and we think we offer some of the close connections with the community here that we think would be very useful in this operation.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions?
I make a motion that we select TRC Engineering for our utilities, comprehensive utilities plan.
I second that.
Okay, motion has been made by Mayor Pro Tem to accept the bid from TRC. And it's not a bid. Awarding the bid. That's the way I wanted to say it. And it was seconded by Councilman McGowan. Any more discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
Mayor, the only other thing that I have is to update council on a few things as far as the new town hall. As you could see, hopefully you've seen, we did get the signs installed at both the road and on the front of the building that faces 70. That's the town hall sign on the building. Again, the sign on the right of way in front of the building. We're planning to do that after we finish our branding and logo project this year. The landscaping has been completed, which I think looks really nice around the front of, or the front and the sides of the building. The previous owner still is occupying the 6-bay building. He doesn't think it's going to be the total of a year, which is what he has. He's hoping to be out before then because he is working on his new building. And he's got a few things still from the large filing system in the back room that will be the council chambers. So to update you on that, now that we're getting started with this utilities comprehensive plan, the RFQs should go out this month for the architecture and design on that project for upfitting the council chambers. We did have some people from the county out to do the inspections to make sure that we were compliant as a public building. And there were only a couple of very minor changes that needed to be made. Exit signs, things like that. There will be some things that will need to change in that back room in order for it to be the council chambers. But we will hopefully start getting that going next month. So, is there anything else anybody had questions about with the new town hall?
I dream about leaving the elementary school and having our own meeting hall.
I dream
Any-
about
I-
a better sound system.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think that that dream is going to end? I
Yes.
mean, come to fruition?
Yes.
I'm sorry, come to fruition by the end of the year? Sorry, wrong.
By the end of the calendar year,
Calendar year, yeah. I'm just throwing a date out there.
I think that's going to depend on the bids. We'll have to see a project approach when we get those bids back or qualifications rather for architect and design. I would not want to answer that question in this economy.
Yeah,
I,
there's a lot of work that has to be done for that room
Yeah.
to get it ready for council.
I do like the sign visible from 70 Town Hall. Will there be the indication anywhere that it's going to be Wilson's Mills Town Hall, or what are we doing with
When
that?
we finish the branding, the logo, that's the ground
gonna-
sign. That's when the ground sign
That's
will
going to be
be
the
put up.
ground sign.
Right.
All right. Patrick filled me in on what we're going to do with that, what you're planning on doing with that other building off to the side.
Which one?
What do you
The-
call that building,
park.
Patrick? Yeah, the rusty looking building.
You're talking about yeah, and we'll bring that to council.
Okay.
We've got some hopeful plans about a mural and a veterans memorial out there. So we're hoping to get some drawings back to council in the next month or two, so you can look at that and see what we're wanting to do. A lot of the stuff outside and on that area with the sign as well, the ground sign in the
Right.
front as well they've got to finish that right of way work on Highway 70 before we start building a whole lot out there, because otherwise it's not really gonna look that
I've been
great.
down there a couple times at Town Hall and I'm impressed. Everybody's got elbow room. And like I
the-
told JC earlier, you've got elbow room sufficient for many, many more years now.
think so too. And there will be a light. You said there will be a light at night, right? With
Yes.
it. Okay.
We're still getting an electrician. We're getting bids right now for an electrician to come, but the sign on the front of the building will be lit up at night once it's wired. Yeah. Any other questions about the town hall or anything else?
You have anything else?
That's all I have.
Okay. Ms. Sherry, Finance Officer. Thank y'all.
Evening, council. You have before you the end of the year, end of the fiscal year financial report. Are there any questions? Well, sure.
Refresh me, and I know this is ridiculous for me to not know the answer to. The ad valorem is our property tax, right?
It is.
Okay, we expected to get 1.1 mil in and we got 1.06. We're not that far off, but is that typical to only be at 96% at, after the end of the fiscal year?
Yes.
Is it really?
Mhm.
These are people that are not paying their property tax?
Yes.
The county looks after that for us?
Oh, yes.
We don't have to chase them down?
No,
Very good, thank you. And is the county usually successful in that?
absolutely.
Good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone have any more questions for Sherry? Okay, good
That's it.
job.
Thank you.
Miss Wendy, Planning and Zoning. Thank you for coming. I told him to thank you. Mrs. Charles. I have asked Wendy to give us a more detailed update of I guess the properties, that's being developed around town, because everybody's asking what's going to go here. The trees have been cut down, what's going to go there. So I've asked her to give us a little bit detailed report tonight.
Does anybody have any questions about the report before I get started?
Yes, Sutherland Mills, Wendy,
Uh-huh.
construction plans are approved. When do they anticipate turning the shovel over there?
I'm not sure. I know they're still trying to work everything out and they're also working with the county on the direct line of the sewer.
Does the county really think that, and I know the county doesn't have anything to do with it's a state road, but that Sutherland Road is going to be sufficient to handle what we've seen there plus this coming up?
There has been a transportation impact analysis done for Sutherland Road for this subdivision. I don't remember exactly what they are, but there are some improvements that will have to be done to Sutherland Road. And if I'm not mistaken, a short stack lane on Fire Department Road. Their DOT's now working with our developers through the phasing portion as far as what has to be done when.
Okay,
The DOT is aware.
all right, thank you.
How many phases is in that subdivision?
They have not broken that down for us yet.
They've just given.
They're
you the
still
const-
just that fresh.
far out. Okay,
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
With Mill Creek, it is built out. That's the one right beside the park. We still have not heard from them as far as the final walkthrough. I know they're working on our punch list because they have actually worked on the landscaping out by Powhatan Road. So they're working on that one. Wilson's Walk is the one on Cole Road, which is across 70 Business. They are getting their final plat in to be signed. We finally got everything straightened out with the pump station in Olive Branch, which will serve Wilson's Walk and Olive Branch. So they should be building in there within the next month. Olive Branch has already started building in theirs. There is an agreement in place between
When you say building what?
houses.
Okay. Single family.
There are single family homes going up. Olive Branch is the one on West Olive Road. The only thing left with their pump station is the final startup, including the state. And they're trying to get that scheduled now. I actually talked with my contact at the county this morning to find out where they stood. So they should be issuing certificates of occupancy in there probably within the next 3 to 4 months. Midtown Village is our development across 70 at Swift Creek Road. I have a meeting set up with the developer and with Chris Johnson with the Economic Development Commission of Johnston County to see what we can do working together to get some of the businesses and things in. If anyone, not just council, but residents, if anyone has any suggestions on what they would like to see out there, I need to know it. I can't go after the business if I don't know what you want. I can't promise anything. The cottages at Wilson's Mills, they're the ones back behind Ives Landing. All of the houses are finished. I have sent an email to that developer requesting an update on their punch list, and I haven't heard back from them yet.
Is the barrier fence on your punch list?
It is. Eason Creek is the small 27 rooftop development that's on Powhatan Road across from Prickett Lane. And I'm not sure what Mr. Gordon is waiting on. I'm gonna be honest. He has everything he needs at this point. He did have to break it down into phases because of some of the floodplains at the back, but he could go ahead and start at the front at any time. So that's at his discretion. Crescent Mills is the larger development going in on Strickland Road. It's on both sides of Strickland Road. Phases 1, 2, and 3 have already been approved. Phases 4, 5, and 6 have already been approved. Currently, 7 and 8 are being reviewed. Keep in mind, there's 18 phases to that subdivision.
Is this single family dwellings or
This is
town
single family and
and
townhomes.
townhomes?
And townhomes. This is a mixture. Willis Crossing is at the intersection of Wilson's Mills Road and Main Street. There will be 24 apartments that go in there. This is Mr. Kenny Jones's development. And he has started working on a lot of the preparation for that site that has to be done before he can start the official grading. There was some buildings and things like that that had to come down before he could get started. Sutherland Mills is the one across Sutherland Road from Ives Landing. They have been approved as far as the major construction plans.
And they are
They are single family homes,
all single family.
all single family homes, and that will back all the way up to the river. Johnston Farms Phase 2B with Marlin Lane and Waterview Way. This is where they're putting townhomes along that pond. That has been approved, and they have recently submitted another development plan to us to be reviewed. The last one we looked at, they had corrected, changed everything we had asked them to do. So I feel like this is probably going to be the last review unless there's something unforeseen at this point. Johnston Farms Phase 2B has pretty much been taken off of the table at this point. We did get a request from the owner to withdraw his rezone on that property. So at this point, there will be nothing else that we will be doing with Johnston Farms 2B with Abbey Court. Johnston Farms Phase 3, that's the one that y'all discussed and voted on tonight. The annexation is completed. We're trying to work with them on getting this rezoned. They have submitted a concept plan that we've looked at. It looks good. Our consultants have seen it. They're in agreement with everything. We've just got to work out everything in the water supply watershed area, because that is a protected portion of that, which is the most vulnerable portion of the water supply watershed. So we've just got to make sure we do what we need to do with that, not to cause any problems. Wilson's Ridge is the one that is directly beside the new town hall on Wilson's Mills Road. Also across Wilson's Mills Road beside the daycare and Miss Ryan's house. That one will be townhomes and single family homes. And they are moving right along with the grading on that one. So I feel like we should have infrastructure going in there probably within the next few months. The Toller property, which is up on the hill on Wilson Mills Road across from Poplar Creek subdivision. That one is going to be more of a mixed use commercial project. The plans at this point, unless he changes, is we will have some self-storage on one side. And I don't mean the small self-storage units. He's talking the bigger units for boats, motorhomes, and things like that. So we can get some of that out of our subdivisions. And then on the other side would be more of an industrial storefront situation, which is something that I feel like we need in town as well. Cobalt Towns is the development out on US 70 Business. It's in between East Hampton and Olive Branch. And at this point, they're pretty much at a standstill until we can get all the sewer stuff straightened out. Tralee Phase 7, I've not heard from them in over 6 months, so I'm not sure what's going on with that one. I know they were having issues.
Is this the last one?
This would be the final phase of
Or
Tralee.
Tralee?
But for this phase, they have to cross over a floodway. So the last I heard, they were having trouble getting their permits to get to where they needed to go.
From Corps of Engineers.
So,
Okay.
and then the last one is the Easton property, which is at the end of Mitchner Drive. It is proposed that that will be all townhomes, but we've not heard back from him as far as an actual concept plan or anything recently.
Wendy, I know you've done this for us before, but I've forgotten the number. But without going into any great detail, just off the top of your head, between this point and the end of our fiscal year, next June 30th, how many new rooftops do you think that are going to be there with people actually living in them? Not in construction, but finished and certificates issued and they're ready to go.
If the year continues like it has started, and if I'm not mistaken, we've already issued 15 permits or more this month. So we're looking at probably 250 maybe. But now Wilson's Walk is fixing to jump into that equation. So that may go up quite a bit.
So if it goes up, even if it goes up 250, we're looking at 1,000 new homes, right? What I'm looking at is I'm interested in what the chief is going to need. We're talking about a lot of new residents here and new homes and new areas, and it's going to impact our police department considerably. So I just want to get a feel for what we're going to need.
I will give you guys this. I just recently updated our current project sheet that I do every year that I turn into the state and to the school system. And last year, this time, we were at around, I think, 3,500 or 3,600 homes coming in. Well, back out the ones that are finished and add in the new ones that are coming in, and we're up to a little over 3,800 now.
All right. And we're looking probably maybe 3 years down the line for all of that.
With our bigger ones, we're probably looking at 5 to 6
Yeah.
years down the road.
The ones on Strickland Road, probably.
Yeah.
At
That's,
least.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
that's
the-
roughly between 8,000 and 9,000 new residents at the usual 2.8 per rooftop, right?
I just found out that Olive Branch is building all 4-bedroom homes.
Okay.
Olive
All right. Well,
Branch.
chief, take note. We'll see you come budget meeting.
And that was one of my questions I wrote down, or, are we crunching? And I guess it's maybe for Leanne. Are we crunching the numbers on new revenue compared to the cost of all the new development as we're going along? Is there any way that we can crunch those numbers to kind of predict for the future, what it's going to cost us as far as services? And I know we're just now doing the sewer plan, but looking down into the future, personnel, staffing, Councilman mentioned police department, but other departments as well. I don't even know that we can do that, but I think we might could.
Yes, and those are the types of plans that you all have added to your strategic plans for this year that we're putting into place. Not just the comprehensive utilities plan to know where we stand on that, but staffing, everything that we're looking at this coming year and all of these plans, capital improvement plan, transportation, all of that ties into the growth that we have and where we need to be going each year to not get behind in our growth.
Just to give you an update, Tim, Wendy is working on a pedestrian bike plan, which would put sidewalks and bike. So that's in the process of doing that so that we will be able to have pedestrian walkways and bike walkways, and that's coming. So that would connect these communities together. So, and that's already in the works. I mean, we're
On
working
that note, Mayor, everyone, please take note. You're going to be getting an email from us probably within the next 2 weeks. That email is a survey about this bike and pedestrian plan. We need everyone's input. We want to know what you think, good or bad. I need to know so we know what to put in that plan. So if you would like to receive that and you're not already on an email, if you will call me, I have some cards with me tonight. I'll be glad to make sure you end up getting that survey where you can fill it out and send it back in.
I think we want to be a town connected. I don't think we want to be a town that's this subdivision or this neighborhood, that neighborhood, this neighborhood, that neighborhood. I think we want to be a town that is connected and like a town would be.
I think you'll be surprised when you see the pedestrian bike paths that we have proposed for the town of Wilson's Mills.
And I do have another question. You mentioned about public input on, was it businesses coming in? I think is what you,
Mhm.
how would, can you just let them know how they could do that? How they could contact you? Let you know what they would like to see. Although, let me say the same thing. We can't promise anything.
Right.
But if they would like to see a certain something come in, how could they contact and put their suggestion?
They can either come by town hall and meet with me or Lee, or my email is listed on our website, or put a message our Facebook page and Emily can get it to me and I will respond that way. Also on our webpage, there's a contact us form. You can fill that out. And when you say what you want, what you're inquiring about, it'll get forwarded to me and I will be glad to respond to you that way. And that's about any questions you have regarding planning and development in the town. If you don't ask, you don't know. And I don't mind trying to talk to you and help you understand what we have going on.
That's one of the reasons I asked her to update us on this, because there is a lot of growth coming and we need to be prepared for it. So it's not just us on town council. Anybody in the town of Wilson Mills who has an idea of where you would like to see something, let somebody know, because then we can put it in the works. We can start talking about it and we can say, well, this was a good idea. We need to put it on paper. We need to do something with it. But if you don't tell us, we don't know. And Wendy can't do it if she doesn't know. So pick up the phone and call. I'm sure Lee will be glad to take your message.
And that
Put her on the spot.
and that survey is already out on the web.
Well, that
And it
was
just
the
circ-
one for
is
the
that the
Southeast
bicycle?
area study.
Yeah, there's
There's,
another one.
I've got two different
got two
things going
on there.
on. The Southeast area study actually closed yesterday.
Okay.
That's the one,
But-
transportation and roads, and vehicle corridors.
Okay.
This other one that we're working on is the bicycle and pedestrian plan,
Okay.
where we'll be adding sidewalks all around town and it will connect everything.
Subdivisions, yeah.
I mean, the whole town, including the other side of Swift Creek Road, is going to be connected by the time we finish with this thing.
If I may, I'd first off, kudos to our town administrator. We couldn't ask for a better one. And I'm so very pleased with that. But all the directors and all the folks that work for the town at the administration part and the police department, I'm very, very proud of all of them because we are very proactive in what we do. We're looking to the future, not just waiting for it to happen and figuring out what we have to do. So on that note, Wendy, we've had problems over the years, at least since I've been on this council, and we've been talking about how to get citizen input, like you're saying, sending out surveys, and it requires citizens to be on our sunshine list or on Facebook and so many things like that. And there's so many of them that are not and will never be on that, but we still need their input and we don't know how to go about getting it. We don't have a newspaper. We don't have anything like that. This is a wonderful turnout tonight. And I'm still wondering why, because we usually have one or two people here and that's it. So I have another suggestion. Let's be proactive in this part too. Each one of these developments that's coming in or has just recently come in or that's been here for years has an HOA required by law. If you've got more than, 12 houses, you've got to have an HOA. what would prevent the town of Wilson's Mills from having a committee? And I'm not big on committees, but contacting each and every one of the HOAs that we currently have, and any of those that come in, contact that HOA and have them submit to us the name, address, phone number, and everything for an HOA coordinator or liaison to the town of Wilson's Mills. And we hold a meeting maybe once every quarter, once every 6 months, whatever it is, and use that HOA representative as a representative for all of the residents, and they can take things back and bring things to us. We don't have to have each and every individual on Facebook, just an HOA member on their board, and they come in and they sit down every 6 months or every quarter, and we talk to them, you talk to them, we address what's happening, we get their complaints, we get their comments, and we get to take things and send them back to them. And it goes out from there to all the residents. To me, it's a very simple way of doing it, just saying, we need a representative.
I'll be glad to try that. And I hope we have more response than we did when I contacted them, trying to go to them to try to talk with
Well,
them and educate the
If
residents.
you get me the,
But-
you get me the HOA names and numbers and find out when they meet, I'll go out and sit in their meetings too. And when they have their open forum, I'll address it. You know me. Let's do it. Let's not wait for them to say, yeah, we'll do it. We won't do it. Let's go out and knock on their door.
Okay.
I think
Fair enough.
I think that's a start, because we need input from the citizens of Wilson Mills.
Yes,
Thank you.
We need to know. Thank you so much, Wendy.
thank you.
And Emily with the events.
Hello. We are still having our farmer's market. We had a food truck this last Saturday, and I think that pulled a few more people in. We're hoping that we will have them come back. And the events committee has decided that we are going to have a community yard sale on September 23rd. We do have a meeting tomorrow night to kind of finalize all of that. But we've had a lot of people that have requested to be able to come out and sell their things, and it hasn't really fallen under our jurisdiction or our rules and regulations for a farmer's market. So we're kind of meeting them in the middle. But more information on that to come, and come out every first and third Saturday.
I think it's a great idea, because some of these communities, like the one I live in, they have a community yard sale probably once every 6 months. And I don't know how successful it is, but if we had one down at the park, that'd be the Philip Wright Park.
Right.
I like that.
And I'm hoping a lot of people want to participate, because you just have to show up with your stuff. I think that's
Yeah.
part of the headache of a yard sale, is organizing it, but
Yeah.
we're doing that part for them. So
Okay. Sounds like a winner. So everybody plan to come out for a yard sale at the park on September the 23rd, and tell everybody. Patrick, Public Works. No, wait a minute. I'm forgetting the police. I'm sorry, Chief. I walked right over you. Didn't even mean to. We've got this thing on our.
Good evening. You got your report. If you have any questions.
I'm very happy to see 234 car stops. Oh, Chief, those car stops, the 234, are they including our traffic officer or excluding?
They're included.
Included?
Traffic officer.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'm very happy to see that. Thank you. I have questions that are not on here. Are you ready? And my question is, and I asked the chief, all right, I did something, you're laughing. I asked the chief this a couple of days ago, but Chief, we had, and this is for the benefit of all of us. Chief, we had a problem at the community park. And I'd like to know the update on it, what we're doing, not only doing to prevent it from happening again, if possible. We all know crime. You just can't prevent it all the time, but what we're doing to prevent it in the future, and also what we're doing with any suspects or what have you. We're not gonna let this fall through the cracks and just say, don't do it again, are we? Yeah, juvenile or not.
Right. As you know, we had approximately $5,000 worth of damage to the community park. The bathrooms were vandalized, fire extinguishers, and thanks to the efforts of two of my officers, Officer Sinclair and Officer Wright, and the cameras came in very handy. Without the cameras, I don't think we could have solved it, but 12 juvenile petitions were filed, and 4 juveniles between the ages of 12 and 17 were charged with misdemeanor breaking and entering, first degree trespassing, and injury to real property. So they're in the juvenile justice system now. So that's the way we have to handle it because they're our juveniles.
Out of curiosity, will they be referred to anybody for community service at some point in time because they are juveniles?
They're in the hands of the juvenile justice system. That's the idea, but they have a whole process they have to go through, and that's one of the options. Community service, restitution, but again, we don't have any say in it.
Yeah. What can we possibly do to see that goes our way, i.e. restitution, number one, and community service? I'd like to see them work at our park.
Where the town's going to get an opportunity to do a victim impact statement.
Okay.
That's our opportunity. Other than that, it's out of law enforcement's hands.
Will you be doing the victim impact statement or?
No, the town
Leanna?
itself. Yeah, we have.
Okay, good. Thank you. I just don't want this to fall through the cracks. So
Right.
thank you very much.
They residents of Wilson Mills.
No, Selma.
Selma.
They were visiting residents at the neighborhood next door to the park. So they had they were coming over here to visit them, but not from town.
Just to make sure that citizens understand what happened, the bathrooms were sort of tore up. The mirrors were busted, the vanities were busted. Anything that could have been broke inside the bathroom was broke. So, except the commodes, that was one thing they didn't, but everything else they did. And it was just, totally uncalled for. But thank you, Chief, for taking care of that. And now we have
That's all I had on that, Chief.
Okay.
So go ahead.
You've also got General Order 324. New officer policy for Narcon.
this is new, isn't it?
This
I
is a
mean,
new policy. Yeah,
okay, but we've never had this before,
that's
right?
correct.
If I thought that I understood that. The training. How is this training done?
Most of our officers already been trained. A lot of it's through video and some in-service training. It's dealing with an old problem that we've had, for years, but most agencies and communities come up with a policy now because of technology,
Right.
Narcan, that really helps the overdose victim nowadays. It's
Does
kind of a
any-
basic
Right.
medical treatment that law enforcement can.
Does,
It's been proven to save lives though, countless
Yes.
times, over and over and over, correct?
Right.
Are we subject to any kind of liability if it does not save a life and an effort was made?
Not that I'm aware of, but these policies are pretty common now and most agencies are doing them.
Okay. Well, I don't know if anybody else has any other questions, but I'd
Good.
I make a motion that we approve General Order number 300-24, new Wilson's Mills Police Department. Is it naloxone law enforcement officer policy? Is that how it's pronounced?
Narcan.
Narcan.
Narcan is okay.
Right. The other name, I don't know, but
All right.
Narcan is what we
All
call
right.
it.
I've made my motion, so.
Okay. Okay. Motion was made by Councilman McGowan, seconded by Councilman Mayor Pro Tem Triplett. Is there any other discussion? Is there any other discussion? Do we all understand what we're voting on, this new policy? Okay, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye. All opposed? Okay.
I would just like to say, congratulations, I guess, to you on the appointment to the North Carolina Sentencing and Policy Advisory Committee.
Oh, thank you.
I underlined that. I'm glad that you got appointed to do that and represent our town.
Thank you.
Are you going to wear that nice jacket that I saw you in tonight when you go to these meetings?
No, probably
No.
not.
It's,
Thank you, Chief. Patrick, Public Works. You're gonna have to let Tony do it one night for you.
I asked him, but he said no. Got my report. Any questions?
I don't have a question. I just have a statement that I hope that all of our other council members have had the opportunity to go by, not only to see the new administrative side of town hall, but yours. I know you're really proud of it, and you gave me a nice tour the other day, and it really is nice. That's a real maintenance section
Yes,
now.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't have anything I want to ask, but I do want to say that that I just want to say thank you, because you're the first line when something like this vandalism, you and your staff. Thank you for what you do. People can see the vandalism, but they don't realize how much time it takes to clean up the vandalism. So thank you for doing that.
Yes, sir.
And I have not had a chance to go by, but I'm going by soon to see the new facility. But I did want to say thank you for that cleanup. I know you've done it multiple times.
Yes, sir.
But thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick.
Real quick, Patrick, when you get the Gators up and running,
Yes, sir.
is one going to be stationed at the park?
If we get a building out there,
Right.
something we can put it in, yes.
That was my question.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
I don't want to ride. Thanks, Patrick.
Does council, anyone have any comments?
Obviously, I do.
Obviously.
I have two questions. I was under the impression, after the last meeting that we were going to start with a consent agenda. Did something transpire that I missed in between time?
No, but the only thing that you would have had on there tonight would have been the minutes. So it was just an agenda item itself. So,
Okay.
I mean, if you all want the departmental reports under the consent agenda, we can do that. But you usually, not you personally, but council normally has questions or updates that they're looking for. So
I think would be better to keep those like they are. Would they follow them?
I mentioned last time, I don't think if for things that you vote on is typically where you would have a consent agenda. So for somebody to just come up and give a report, that's not really something you have a consent agenda for. The other thing I might suggest is the policy amendment, that was the chief's policy amendment that could have been on a consent agenda, but it's like Leanne said, there's not much that would have gone on a consent agenda this time.
Okay. We'll try to put it on there next time, David. Anyone else have any comments?
I do. I got just a couple of things I jotted down, nothing major. Is there any word from DOT since they last met with us last month on any progress? Have they communicated back with us that they've done anything, or?
they have not communicated anything to me or staff.
I've seen a slight improvement in the light timing at the Handy Mart.
It depends on what day you go through.
Yeah, I know that. I'm just saying. Yeah, well, I understand. I wasn't counting cars because that depends upon the day and the time of day, but I was
Time of
timing
day.
the light. I forgot what it was, but it's considerably longer than 3.5 seconds, 4 seconds now. Okay, we've moved up.
It's not much different.
Not much, right?
It's not.
Okay. If we're beyond that, do you have anything else?
I do. I have a couple
Go ahead.
more things. I would just like to let the people know that, I want to thank Wendy for giving that more extensive. I don't know about anybody else up here, but that helps me a whole lot to understand,
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
not from the day-to-day operations, but as a just an overview of what's happening in the town. And it's going to help me when it comes budget time as well. So I wanted to tell you, thank you for that. Another thing that I was thinking about, and when you mentioned about the bike paths and the sidewalks,
Walking, yeah.
is I know that there's been some, I think a name thrown out there, but, and I'm gonna go back to it, and I went through it last month, but the Swift Creek to the service road, back to Strickland, and then it goes back up to Swift Creek. Would that be a good thing to, and there again, I'm throwing it out there, like a parkway for Wilson's Mills, tying in that whole area, like Wilson's Mills Parkway or something, something that kind of ties us all in together. And again, I'm just throwing, rather than having this name or that name and all it, because it's going to be like almost like a circle, but it's a triangle. But I just wanted to throw that out there when you're meeting with developers and stuff like that. And I just wanted to tell the citizens, the town's moving forward, and we want the citizens' input. We don't want to sit up here and wonder what 5,000-6,000 people are thinking. Because I certainly can't read minds, but and Wendy can't either, Leanne can't. So we want your input. Flood the phone lines, flood Facebook, flood whatever. They do not mind, but let them know what kind of things you want or you're interested in the town. And the only other thing I've got is I waited to the last because we renamed the community park Philip Wright, and I just want to say that Philip he'd show up at my house and I'd have to get in the car with him to ride to look at something about the town. And this was well before I was even on the town council. And I remember him as my fire chief as well, David. He was 100%. If he was involved in something, he was 100% for it. Didn't mean we all agreed with him. But he was a man that you could talk to and you could reason with most of the time. But he was, I thank Philip for what he taught me over the years in his leadership roles and how to be a people person. And you alluded to that, meeting people, but I did feel like I needed to say that. And I'm done.
Anyone else? I just want to say that I appreciate our staff, not only our department heads, but all of our staff. You haven't been to town hall, you said. They have done an awesome job of getting the furniture and everything put into place. It looks like a town hall, y'all. We have got a town hall. If y'all haven't been out there and seen it, it is awesome. It is something that we as citizens of Wilson Mills can be proud of, to say this is our town hall, and it's due a lot to these people that are our staff, because they have worked behind the scenes. Y'all just don't know where they went to get some of the furniture that's in that building. Patrick hauled stuff from all over everywhere, but they did it so that it would look good and would go together and not cost us an arm and a leg. And I am so very proud of this staff and what they are doing. And so that's just my 4 cents.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I do too. So the final note that I've got is actually it's an agenda item, discussion of donation.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Am I in the wrong place?
No, go ahead.
Okay. The discussion of donation designation for food. And we had this discussion briefly last meeting, but we tabled it because there were 2 people missing. Now there's 1, but I would like to make a decision tonight. And that simply is, Carolyn, if you weren't here last time, but we were talking about the need for addressing little empty bellies in Wilson's Mills the best way that we possibly can. And the person in Wilson's Mills who really is pushing this every day is retired judge and now pastor Addie Rawls. And I'm a firm believer in not reinventing the wheel. So Leanna and I sat down with Pastor Rawls and we discussed it, and she gave me and Leanna some really good points. And one of them, as you may recall, I think when I brought this up months ago, was I know the school has a handle on children that are coming to school hungry or going home and not facing, you know, empty bellies that night. And so I want to address that. I'm an ardent supporter of Addie Rawls now, and the school evidently holds once every quarter or so a food drive, and Miss Young here in the school oversees the whole thing, and it's a huge thing of food and whatever, and the families know about it and they come by, and it's a drive-through, and she's got bags ready for everybody, and it's really nice. It's divided up into breakfast, lunch, dinners, and she really does a good job. So Addie Rawls and I decided we're going to help out. So Addie Rawls just gave tons of bread and tomato sauce and all kinds of things. I don't know where she gets this stuff, but I hauled it over in my trunk to bring over here, and it weighed my little car down. Then I went shopping that same day, and I filled up 2 food carts on my own, just brought it all over here. You know, just breakfast, lunch, dinner, Pop-Tarts, whatever, cereal, you name it, spaghetti sauce, whatever. And I would like to see the town, rather than reinventing the wheel and coming up with our own food pantry of some sort, let's stick with what we've got. And that is working with Addie Rawls and Wilson's Mills Elementary School, and to see that these children that need the food get the food on a somewhat of a timely basis. So with that in mind, and the success of the last food drive they had, I'd like to see us perhaps make a line item on the budget for what, a couple $1,000s a year, divide that up into, you know, $1,000 or $750 each food drive, and go out and just load up shopping carts and give it to the school, because it gets to the children that need it. Okay. If you recall, when I brought this up last year sometime, we were talking about having the police involved, maybe the fire department, whoever that knows where these children are. And that's not to exclude the police department. I still want part of that. So if we have a line item on that and it's administered by the town and it's no big deal, if we have the money available, and for example, an officer might come in after a call and tell the chief that, wow, you need to see what I just saw tonight with respect to these little children. We've got the money to do something about that right there on the spot. And how it gets to them, we can work that out, be it me taking it out there, or you, Carolyn, anybody, not an officer per se, but let's go out there and knock on the door and give them bags of whatever they need and let it go. But you see, we'll have that capability if we have a line item, we've got money in the reserve for it. So I'm going to go ahead and let's move this on, and I'll make a motion that we somehow, somewhere, and I don't know how we do this, but we put $2,000 in the budget every year for food donation.
Okay. We got a motion made by Councilman McGowan to put $2,000 into a line item for, and we're going to call it food donations.
Unless we come up with something
think
better.
that's a
Right
good one.
now, it's for the,
Seconded by Councilwoman Dobbin. Is there any discussion? Okay.
I just have a question for clarification. Are you wanting to put in the budget for staff to purchase something and have it go towards this budget line item, or is this a donation to New Generation?
no, it's to the first one. So it's where staff can go and take care of this on a quarterly basis, or whatever Miss Young here, her food drive is. Maybe if it's 3 times a year, then we'll go and purchase that kind of food and just give it to her. I don't mind doing that. I really don't mind doing that whatsoever.
David, do we know when she's having the food drive?
No, that was the last one for the year, and the school obviously is out for the summer.
Right.
But when it starts up again, I'll be on it. I'll be on it in a heartbeat. And I'd
So-
like to be able to tell
so-
her that the town of Wilson's Mills is committed to helping her.
So what we're saying is that we're going to give $2,000 to be used to purchase food to help with the food drive at the school.
Yeah, we're not giving it. It's in the town coffers, if you will. And we will withdraw that through Leanna or Sherry. We'll withdraw it on a whatever basis she establishes
Right.
here for this.
And we
and
will,
take it out
right.
and one of us will go buy that food and just bring it over to the school for the children. And if an emergency pops up that we find out about, we'll have a few dollars to go and buy some food right then. Okay?
okay. Does everybody understand? Any comments? Okay. Okay.
I have just put that on my list.
Oh, do you
We'll,
have-
we'll do a policy for the use of that money. Discuss it with the department heads. If you could get me some information on timelines.
Yeah,
for
that
those
won't
programs.
happen until school comes back in session because I don't know where to get in touch with Miss Young.
I have her number.
Do you?
I'll see. Yes,
Well,
I'll see.
if you could give it to me, I'd be happy to call her because
see if I
we've
can.
got this little relationship now.
Okay, yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
All right, thank you.
But- Okay, all in favor of starting a line item with $2,000 for food donations? Let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
The children, thank you.
Okay.
I'll make oh, never mind. Go ahead.
Okay. We will now open our second open forum for anyone to have any comment to come forward. Please state your name, your address, and limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Jim Uzzle, I live at 138 C Uzzle Industrial Drive, Clayton. I thank you for all that you do. The school here does a lot for our community, as all of you well know. The Alumni Association, which is established through this school, has been donating to this food drive that you're talking about, David, for a number of years. It's a good thing. There's also a project out there called Backpack Buddies that some schools do, some schools don't. Our church participates in that. But the most exciting thing tonight is seeing 8 or 10 people come who never come before. So come back and bring somebody with you. The community needs involvement. And to the town council and Wendy, we need commercial growth.
Thank you. Anyone else? We close the open forum at 7:59.
I make a motion. We're going to a closed session in accordance with North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11 parentheses A, parentheses 6, personnel.
Motion made to go into closed session by Councilman McGowan, seconded by Councilwoman Dobbin. All in favor? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my microphone. Yeah, did it wake everybody up? I'm sorry, my phone, I'm sorry.